stopping by. I thought it would be a good idea for me to give you a little briefing about who I am and why I am doing all of these reviews. So, my name is Shista, and I'm a homeschool veteran of 23 years. I have four children. I've been married for 24 years and have enjoyed every aspect of home education. My oldest two, during the time that I had chosen to do this, right before we did this, had been in Montessori school for kindergarten and first grade. But I had already sort of like started the homeschooling process. I had already started teaching them at home. But it was normal for me to, and for everybody, to sign your children up for school. Well, a light bulb came on for me when a teacher pulled me aside and asked me why I didn't continue what I was doing with my children when they was doing so well. That was one of those defining moments of, oh, there's more. And when I decided to do this, I had gone to my sister-in-law, who was already home educating her children at the time, and probed her for more, answers. I wanted to know more. I needed to know more. And this was not a decision that I could make on my own. I had to make this decision with my husband. And it was only if we both agreed that we could do this. So after a lot of prayer, we decided that home education was the best for our children. Now, you have to remember this was during a time that it was not popular like it is today. It was very unheard of. It was out of the norm and out of the box. And it also made it a little bit harder because we are African American. And I had to answer to a lot of people of why we were doing this. And the thing was, it was no one answer. So I had to realize that we had to raise our children, and this is how we were going to do it. And if it made us different, then I was okay with that. Well, let's fast forward to now. It's been 23 years, and we have not turned back. I have three children that we have graduated, one that is in ninth grade. They are all pursuing their careers, their interests. I'm very proud of each and every one of them. I would not change a thing. Now, I want to let you know that home education isn't for the faint at heart. It isn't for those who give up quickly, because you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, you're going to cry, your children are going to cry, and you're going to think, I am messing up my kids. But you have to realize you cannot do any worse than what the school system can do. So, lo and behold, we're here, and I began to wonder, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do as my children start graduating and pursuing their own careers, their own interests, and start leaving the nest, even though they're still at home. They start leaving the nest. Well, I decided, with some help from my daughter, that there was a need for encouragement in the homeschool community. More and more people are removing their children from school. More and more people are trying to figure out what is best for their family. More and more people are beginning to think outside of the box, and that's where home education comes in at. Now, for me and my family, I see home education as an extension of what I already do, and that is parent. I parent my children. So it was normal for me to teach them their alphabets, to teach them math, to teach them about the world that was around them. And so I just continued that on, but not without much sacrifice. And when I say sacrifice, it's not a bad thing. It's sacrifice in the way of you have to think outside of the box for your children to be able to think for themselves. I didn't want to force feed anything to them. I wanted them to embrace learning, and for them to understand that learning doesn't just end and begin at a certain time of the day. It is all day, 24 hours a day, you're learning something. And I believe I have captured that in my children. So what am I going to do next? It's what I'm doing right now. It's encouraging you to do what is best for your children. It's showing you that no matter your race, no matter your religion, no matter who you are, it can be done. I homeschooled my children when we didn't have a dime in our pockets. And how did I do that? By faith. But also I used the library, I used what we had. So if we was taking a trip to the grocery store, I turned it into a math program, a math curriculum. Um, if um, if we were cooking in the kitchen and they had to read a recipe, we used that. So I began documenting every single thing my children were doing, not because I needed to, but because I wanted to. I wanted to see what they were doing. Their dad wanted to see what they were doing. So I spoke the language of school from what I've heard to be education needs in the homeschool sector. You have to learn to speak the language in order for people to understand what you're doing. Now, encouragement comes easily for me. I can easily encourage someone. And so, but it doesn't mean that I don't need the encouragement at times. So homeschooling are for those who are tired of the school system or anyone else taking over what is so rightfully theirs, and that is to parent their children in the way that they see fit. So, this is why I homeschool. I started a Facebook group with the push of my daughter Brandy, who said, "Mom, you have something to share. You have something that people need." And me, I don't see that in myself. I see me as just a suburban stay-at-home mom who occasionally, if I get tired, I work outside of the home, who knows how to make a living and who knows how to take care of her children and her home. I just see a regular person. But she saw something in me which was encouraging for me. And so what that did was, how that started was, okay, I'll start the Facebook group, but I'm sure people know how to go online and search. "No, Mom," she says. "No, they don't. They don't do it. They don't." So I started my Facebook group, Mount Juliet Homeschool Connect. And lo and behold, people started joining the group and asking questions and wanted to know how to do this or how to do that and what were the laws. And I was baffled. I was baffled because I thought everybody knew this. It seemed to be very accessible, but it wasn't. And I began to share my journey. I began to share my story. I began to share my resources. And I noticed that my group kept getting bigger and bigger. And so now, what am I doing? What I'm doing right now. I've decided to take me being so local to me being able to reach people no matter where they are. This is the beauty of technology. This is what I am doing now since I am grown up. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to comment below. Thank you so much.